Welcome to your deep dive. You guys have really piled up the AI news articles for us this week, and wow, it's a lot to unpack. Seems like there's a new breakthrough every time I refresh my feed. So we're going to try and break it all down for you. The big stuff, the really interesting things that are happening right now in AI. Ready to dive in?
Absolutely. It's crucial to stay on top of who's doing what in the world of AI. It's moving so fast.
No kidding. Well, let's start with OpenAI. Those chatgpt updates have been coming hot and heavy lately. That new search feature they rolled out, for pro users, everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? They're going right after the dedicated AI search engines like perplexityai.
Right? But do you think ChatGPT's search function is as good?
I'm not so sure. It seems like Perplexity gives you a lot more detail, like it goes deeper into the research aspect.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I've noticed that too.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, at least they finally made it so we can search our past conversations. I mean, come on. What took so long?
I know, right? Such a small change, but such a huge difference, especially if you're using ChatGPT a lot for like research or even just the same kinds of tasks over and over.
Totally. Oh, and did you see they finally came out with a desktop app for Windows? Plus, they've added that voice feature to both the Windows and Mac apps now. They were really pumping out those updates.
I think that just shows you how competitive the AI scene is right now. OpenAI knows they have to keep making ChatGPT better and easier to use if they want to stay on top.
For sure. By the way, did you catch that Amy OpenAI's leadership team did on Reddit the other day?
I did. There are a few things that jumped out at me.
Yeah. Like what?
Well, Sam Altman, OpenAI's CEO, he hinted that the next Dolly update, the one for image generation, is going to be huge.
Ooh, exciting. Anything else?
Yeah, he kind of downplayed the idea of GPT-5 coming out anytime soon.
Yeah.
And get this, he actually thinks we already have the hardware we need to achieve AGI, artificial general intelligence.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Back up a second.
Right.
For those of us who don't speak fluent AI, what does that even mean? Artificial general intelligence.
Right. Sorry, it's a big term for sure. Basically, AGI is this hypothetical AI that could learn and understand and do basically any intellectual task that a human can. It's like the ultimate goal of AI research.
Wow, okay. So Altman's saying we're closer to that than we might think. That's kind of freaky, to be honest.
It's a big statement, that's for sure. It's got everyone in the AI world talking, that's for sure. Oh, and another interesting thing, Kevin Weil, he's a big name in AI too, he said that AI agents are going to be the next big thing in 2025.
AI agents,
Yeah.
okay. Break that down for me. Like, what are we talking about exactly?
So imagine a piece of software, right? But it can act for you, not just on your computer, but like in the real world. It understands what you want, learns as it goes, and can actually interact with things to make those things happen. Like having your own super smart personal assistant who can do almost anything.
Okay, that sounds insanely useful, but also maybe a little terrifying. I don't know if I'm ready for a robot to be picking out my groceries.
Well, there are a lot of ethical things to consider, right? As these AI agents get more and more advanced, we have to figure out the rules, what's okay, what's not okay. But there's no doubt they could change, well, pretty much everything.
Okay, so OpenAI is busy, but they're not the only ones.
Yeah.
Anthropic is stepping up their game too. They finally added voice dictation to their mobile app.
It was only a matter of time, right? ChatGPT has had that for a while. I wonder if they'll go all the way and add voice responses like ChatGPT and Perplexity have.
Ooh, good question. Now they just need to make the interface a little less, well, webby.
You mean like with their Mac and Windows apps?
Yeah. I mean, they basically just copied the website. It's a
Yeah.
little boring, right?
It does make you wonder if they missed a chance to do something really cool there. Instead of just copying the website, maybe they could have like added features that make more sense for a desktop.
Exactly. Like a split screen mode so you can compare stuff easier or maybe make it work better with other stuff on your computer. Seems like they played it safe. Speaking of unexpected moves, did you see that Anthropic's Claude is in GitHub Copilot now?
Wait, really? Alongside Google's Gemini?
Yep.
That's wild, especially since Microsoft is like best bugs with OpenAI. It seems like they're not afraid to use their competitor stuff if it means giving developers the best tools.
Smart, right? Like they're hedging their bets. Whoever wins the AI race, Microsoft wants to be ready. Okay, let's talk Google. Remember those AI-powered search summaries? The ones that used to be a US-only thing? Well, they've gone global.
Wow, that's a big deal. It really shows you how much influence AI is having on how we find and understand information. Imagine it. AI is shaping what we see online for a huge chunk of the planet.
That's kind of mind-blowing when you really think about it. Like AI is becoming this invisible force steering us around the internet.
And this is still just the beginning. They also released that Gemini API. Now developers can build web search right into their apps. Imagine the possibilities. AI-powered apps that can use information from the entire internet.
That's insane. Okay, so we all know Google loves AI, but get this. Sundar Pichai, the big boss man himself, said that over 25% of the new code they write at Google is being written by AI.
Seriously, that's a ton of code. What does that even mean for software engineers?
Right. Will they even have jobs in the future? Or will they be more like architects, like designing the big picture while the AI takes care of all the details?
It's really hard to say what the future holds for programmers, but one thing is for sure, things are changing fast. Those who can adapt, learn to work with AI, they'll have the edge.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on. It's not just Google that's embracing AI. Meta's right there with them. Remember that open source podcast generator, Notebook LM that Google made? Well, Meta just released their own version, totally open source.
That's interesting. I mean, open source has always been about sharing, right? Making tech available to everyone. It could really shake things up. Imagine anyone, anywhere, being able to create a high-quality podcast with the help of AI.
Right. It would be like giving everyone a voice. Who knows what kinds of amazing new podcasts we'd see? And that's not all Meta is up to. Rumor has it they're building their own AI-powered search engine.
Makes sense, right? I mean, you've got OpenAI, you've got Google, even Perplexity, all fighting for a piece of that AI search pie. Meta doesn't want to be left out.
Especially now that they've got that deal with Reuters for news content. It's like they're setting the stage for a showdown.
It'll be really interesting to see what they come up with. Will they use all that social media data they have to make search results more personalized? Or maybe find some brand new way to use AI that no one's even thought of yet?
Good questions.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about the elephant in the AI room, Elon Musk and X.AI. They added image understanding to their Grok AI assistant, but, well, let's just say it didn't go perfectly smoothly at first.
Even the smartest AI can have its blonde moments, I guess you could say. It just shows we're still in the early days, and even the most advanced AI is still a work in progress.
Absolutely. It's like watching a baby learn to walk, right?
Yeah,
Lots of stumbles along the way.
exactly. But even with a few stumbles, AI is advancing at an incredible pace. What we're seeing is truly revolutionary.
For sure. And while we're on the topic of companies that like to keep their AI close to the vest, let's talk Apple. They've been pretty quiet on the AI front, but things are finally starting to happen. They're rolling out iOS 18.1 and 18.2 with all those AI features they promised us, like the souped-up Siri and those writing tools. Oh, and that object remover for photos, that's pretty neat.
It's interesting, though, isn't it? These new features, they only work on the newest iPhones. Makes you wonder if this is Apple's way of nudging people to upgrade their phones.
Oh, for sure. That wouldn't be a surprise at all. They're masters of that. Did you notice they've started using that phrase, Apple Intelligence, in all their ads?
Yeah, like with those new Macs and MacBooks they just came out with. All about the M4 chip being optimized for Apple Intelligence.
It's like they're finally ready to admit that they're taking AI seriously.
Yeah,
You know, they want a piece of that AI pie, too.
definitely. They've always been so secretive about their AI projects. It'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Agreed. Speaking of things that are becoming more common, have you heard about the App Store's new trick? They're going to use AI to summarize user reviews.
Oh, really? Like what Amazon does with its product reviews?
Exactly. It's getting harder and harder to wade through all those
Yeah,
reviews,
yeah.
right? So
Uh-huh.
they're bringing in the AI to give us the SparkNotes version.
Makes sense. Saves us all time and hassle. And it could even help developers, too. Give them a better sense of what people like and don't like about their apps without having to read thousands of reviews.
Exactly. Okay, before we move on to some of the smaller players in the AI game, we have to talk about this. Remember that story about the mystery AI image generator that briefly took the top spot, even beating out Midjourney and Stable Diffusion?
Oh, yeah. Turned out to be Recraft V3. Still, pretty wild, don't you think? The fact that an unknown player could come out of nowhere and shake things up like that?
It goes to show the world of AI image generation is anyone's game right now. Things are changing so fast, who knows what the future holds?
I'm excited to find out. This kind of competition just pushes everyone to be more creative and innovative. It's a win for all of us who get to play with these amazing new AI tools.
I totally agree. Okay, 11 Labs just came out with this new tool, X2 Voice, and it can create an AI voice from someone's X profile. I know, a little creepy, right?
Yeah.
But also kind of cool. I tried it with my profile, and, well, it was surprisingly accurate.
It's crazy how realistic these AI voices are getting. I mean, it's fun to play with, but it also makes you think about the implications. Like, imagine using that to create synthetic voices for audiobooks or podcasts.
Right, or what about personalized virtual assistants? Although, could you imagine if someone used it to make fake audio recordings of people? Things could get messy.
Oh, absolutely. This is powerful technology. And like any powerful tool, it can be used for good or bad. We've got to figure out the ethical guidelines, the boundaries before things get out of hand.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, we've covered a lot, but we're just getting started. There's so much more to discuss.
So much. The world of AI never sleeps.
That's for sure. We'll be back in a bit to dive into even more AI news. From music creation to, get this, robots that do laundry. Don't go away. Welcome back to our AI Deep Dive. Before the break, we were talking about how AI is changing everything from search to image generation. But it's not just the big tech companies making waves, is it?
Not at all. There are some smaller companies and platforms out there doing some really innovative things.
Yeah, and we were just talking about Soundful and that personas feature they have.
Right.
Where you can capture the essence of a song and use it to create something new.
Oh, yeah, you were experimenting with that, right? How did it go?
It was actually pretty amazing. I was trying to get a kind of folk rock vibe, and
Mm-hmm.
musically, it totally nailed it. But the lyrics,
The lyrics.
well, let's just say they were interesting. More like something you'd find in a bad joke book than a hit song.
I guess AI still has a ways to go when it comes to like the poetry of songwriting. It's not quite human yet, is it?
Definitely not. But hey, at least the music was good. Who knows what future versions of these tools will be able to do?
Right. Imagine being able to create an entire album that perfectly captures a certain mood or genre, or even being able to blend different styles together seamlessly.
Okay, now that's a future I can get behind. But let's shift gears a bit. Remember DID, the company behind those super realistic AI avatars?
Oh yeah, the ones that look so real, it's kind of crazy.
Exactly. Well, they've got this new feature now where you can have real-time conversations with these avatars. It's like something straight out of a movie.
I know it's really blurring the lines between real and fake. It makes you wonder, how are we going to interact in a world where it's harder and harder to tell who's human and who's not?
Right. What about online customer service? Or what if people start using these avatars for companionship? Could they be so convincing that they actually change how we connect with each other?
There were some deep questions. Questions we're going to have to figure out the answers to sooner than later. But for now, it's pretty amazing to see what this technology can do.
Speaking of amazing technology, have you heard about Wonder Dynamics and that new tool they have called Wonder Animation? It can actually turn live action footage into animation.
Really? That's incredible. It could be a game changer for animation, don't you think? Making it so anyone can create animated content, not just big studios.
I know. It's like putting Hollywood special effects in everyone's hands.
Yeah.
I can already picture aspiring filmmakers and YouTubers going crazy with this.
Exactly. And imagine the possibilities. We could see a whole new wave of creative and experimental animation styles as people explore what this tool can do.
And it could make animation way more affordable, which would be huge for indie filmmakers, educators, anyone who wants to tell a story but doesn't have $1 million budget.
Totally. It's a great time to be a creative person. It's not just the creative industries, though. Remember, we were talking about AI making waves in finance, especially in the crypto world. Well, Coinbase just launched this AI agent, the Based agent. It can do things like trading and staking for you.
Okay, for those of us who don't speak crypto, what exactly does staking mean?
It's kind of like earning interest on your crypto holdings, but you're helping to secure the network at the same time.
Got it. So it's like having an AI crypto advisor. That's kind of a big deal.
It is, and it's part of this bigger trend we're seeing with AI being used to help people manage their money. Makes you wonder, maybe AI will become everyone's financial advisor in the future.
It's possible. I mean, as AI gets better at understanding the markets, it could probably give pretty good advice, right?
It could. But just like with any financial advice, it's important to do your research and not just blindly follow what the AI tells you to do.
Always good advice. Okay, let's shift gears again. We talked about AI in tech, creativity, and finance, but we can't forget about robotics. Remember, Meta has been doing a lot of research on what they call embodied AI.
Yeah, all about how to give robots a sense of touch and make them more dexterous.
Right. That video they released, with the robot picking up a water bottle without crushing it.
Yeah.
That was incredible. Where do you think all of this is leading?
Well, think about jobs that require a delicate touch or very precise movements. Maybe assembling tiny electronics or performing surgery, or what about caring for the elderly or people with disabilities?
Well, we're basically talking about robots that can be caregivers.
Right. That's both amazing and a little scary, to be honest.
I know, right? It feels like we're living in a science fiction movie.
Speaking of robots that seem like they came straight out of a sci-fi movie, Did you see the latest video from Boston Dynamics?
The one where the robot is sorting objects all by itself?
Yep. That thing was moving so fast. It was almost like watching a human work, but without any breaks or complaining. Pretty impressive, although it does make you think about the future of work, doesn't it? I mean, if robots can do that, what happens to all the people whose jobs involve sorting things?
Right. That's the big question, isn't it? But, well, technology has always disrupted the workforce, hasn't it? And it always seems like new jobs pop up to replace the old ones.
That's true. And that's why it's so important to be adaptable and willing to learn new skills. The jobs of the future might not even exist yet. Speaking of learning new skills, have you heard about this company called Physical Intelligence? They're working on robots that can learn just by watching humans.
Wait, seriously. Like,
Mhm.
they don't have to be programmed for every single task.
It seems like that's the goal. They showed some videos of their robots doing things like laundry and clearing dishes, all by just observing how humans do it.
That's incredible. It's like having a robot apprentice who's constantly learning and getting better.
Exactly. And the more they observe, the more skills they pick up.
What other things could you teach a robot to do that way? Cooking, gardening, maybe they'd be like companions helping people around the house.
The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing. It's exciting and also a little bit unsettling, to be honest. It makes you think about what it even means to be human when robots are doing so much of the stuff we do.
It's a really interesting question, one that we should probably be thinking about a lot more as these AI and robots become more and more advanced.
Definitely something to ponder.
Well, on that note, let's take a little break to let everyone catch their breath. We've covered a lot of ground today. We'll be back soon to wrap things up and explore what all of this AI stuff means for the future of humanity. Stick around.
And we're back for the final stretch of our AI deep dive. It's been a wild ride. Seriously, my head is spinning from all this AI news. So much is happening so fast.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming keeping up with all the latest developments, but hey, that's what we're here for, right? To break it all down and figure out what it all means. Exactly. So as we wrap up, what do you think? What are the big takeaways from all this AI news? What are the trends that really stand out?
Hmm. Well, I think one of the biggest things is that AI is becoming more accessible.
Yeah.
It's not just for big companies and researchers anymore.
Right. Like, remember we talked about Meta releasing that open source podcast generator, and there are all those new AI tools for things like music and art and even animation.
Exactly. And because those tools are becoming easier to use, it means more people can get creative with AI. We're seeing this whole new generation of creators and innovators.
It feels like AI is becoming like essential for anyone who wants to make something new, no matter what field they're in.
I think you're right. AI is becoming this fundamental tool for innovation. And it's not just about making those tools available, it's also how AI is being used in so many different areas of our lives. Like everywhere you look, AI is there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you stop and think about it. It's like AI is the invisible force behind everything. It's changing how we live, how we work, even how we have fun.
It really is. AI is transforming everything.
It's pretty exciting, but also, I don't know, a little scary, right?
I get it. AI has the potential to do so much good, but we also have to be aware of the potential downsides. Like, what happens to people's jobs as AI gets more advanced? And what about those algorithms we hear so much about? Are they really fair? And, well, what if AI gets into the wrong hands?
Yeah, those are some serious questions. We have to be careful, make sure we're using AI for good,
Mm,
you know, not just because it's cool or because we can.
definitely. AI is a powerful tool, and we have to use it responsibly. We need to have those conversations now, figure out the ethical guidelines before it's too late.
So, okay, big question. What can we, as regular people, do to prepare for this AI-powered future? It all seems to be happening so fast.
Well, first of all, don't be afraid to learn. The more we understand about AI, how it works, what it can do, the better prepared we'll be to navigate this new world.
So, like, read articles, listen to podcasts, take a class, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And don't be shy about sharing your thoughts and concerns. Speak up, get involved in the conversation about how AI should be developed and used. This is going to affect all of us, so we all need to have a say in how it unfolds.
Right. And I guess we have to be ready to adapt, right? Learn new skills, be open to new possibilities.
Definitely. The jobs of tomorrow might not even exist today, so we have to be willing to learn and grow throughout our lives. And maybe the most important thing, be curious, ask questions. Don't just accept everything you hear about AI.
Yeah. Think critically, challenge assumptions.
Exactly. We can't just passively let AI shape our future. We have to actively participate in shaping it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So it sounds like we need to be informed, engaged, and adaptable if we want to thrive in this crazy AI-powered world that's coming at us.
Absolutely. The future is full of challenges, but also incredible opportunities. If we're smart and we work together, we can use AI to make the world a better place.
Well said. Well, that was quite a journey. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling inspired, even if it means my robot will be doing my laundry someday. Thanks for joining me on this AI deep dive.
It's been my pleasure. Always happy to talk AI.
It's a fascinating topic that's only getting more relevant. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And remember, keep exploring, keep learning, and stay curious. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.